When you're operating a dyno, cooling, airflow, and exhaust extraction are paramount. That's why when I saw this 48-inch fan pop up on Marketplace for 50 bucks, I jumped at it, even if it had a couple of issues. So we're going to go through those issues and we're going to get this thing back into working form. First issue that I'm going to be addressing that you might have already noticed is the broken wheel. This axle cannot come apart because it is all one piece. What they did at the factory is they mushroomed the ends down to keep the wheels on. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to cut this and we're going to have to replace it with our own axle. I'm going to start by cutting off the end of the axle with my bandsaw so that we can disassemble this. I have a 1/2-inch diameter, 24-inch long, 304 stainless bar that's going to be my new axle. So we're going to go ahead and slide it through, get some test fitting happening here. As you can see, it's a little bit, it's actually a little bit longer than it needs to be. So that's a good thing. We want to trim that down and we're going to modify it so that it fits our purpose here. All right, we've got a test fit mocked up here. These are a couple of wheels with a 1/2-inch bore that came from Harbor Freight. I think they were about $8 a piece. I went to the hardware store to find a fender washer that would fit this perfectly. I knew that getting a 1/2-inch fender washer would be a little bit loose, so found out 7/16 was just about perfect. We're going to go ahead and drill this end for a cotter pin, and then we'll figure out our final length on the other end. We're here at the mill. We're going to go ahead and use our edge finder in order to indicate to the middle of the rod for drilling. What we're going to do is we're going to slowly move the table in until it makes contact with our edge finder. And we're going to move it in slowly until it kicks off center. There we go. That means we are touching the edge. We're going to go ahead and let the quill come up. Now the tip of that edge finder is 200 thousandths. So if I want to come over to the middle of it, that means I need to come over another 100 thousandths. And now I'm directly over the edge of the rod. However, I want to drill the exact middle. So this is a 1/2-inch rod, 500 thousandths. I need to come over half of that, exactly 250 thousandths. So there's 100, 250, or a 1/4 inch. Now I am right smack in the middle now. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the end because I want to come in, let's say I'll drill 3/8 in from the end. So we're going to go ahead and kick our end off center. Start moving in. Okay, there is our edge. So we'll go ahead and let the quill up. Again, we need to come in 100 thousandths. So we are directly over the edge, and I said another 3/8, which is 375 thousandths. We are directly over. I'll put a little mark there about where I thought it was. We are directly over the center, 3/8 inch from the end. I've gone ahead and chucked up a center drill that will make my mark so that the regular drill bit doesn't want to walk off center. All right, I've got 1/8 inch cotter pins. I don't know exactly what size I'm going to need to drill. I'm going to start with an 1/8 inch drill bit. We'll test the fit and see how it goes from there. Look at that. I think 1/8 inch is the size I need. Well, we'll go ahead and figure out the length that we need and get the other end prepared. All right, one end is done. I am pretty happy with how that came out. So we're going to call that good. And then we're going to work around to the other side. Obviously, that's a little bit longer than we want it. So we're going to go ahead and figure out the length that we need and start finalizing this side. I'm going to transfer my measurement from my other side. We had 440 thousandths sticking out after the fender washer. So I've gone ahead and taken my my Sharpie. I've colored the shaft. I've got my calipers set to 440 thousandths. So I'm going to take my scribe. I'm going to make a little line. So right about where we need it. What I'll do is I'll cut it with my bandsaw. We'll put it in the lathe, and then we will face it until it's the length that we need it. Going to go ahead and make this cut. We're going to leave just a little bit extra. I like to finish the process by taking a file and just rounding the edge a bit, ensuring we don't have any burrs. A nice smooth clean edge. We're back here again. We've got our dimensions set, and we're gonna be starting with our center drill. We're gonna go ahead and follow it up again. And we're through. We'll deburr that hole and we'll test our fit up. I wanted to show you guys this briefly. There are many, many ways to deburr our holes, and I'm going to show you why that's necessary. If I can get my camera to focus here. There. You see how the edge of that, it's sharp. It's mostly on the back side, although the front side could use it a little bit as well. What I do is I just chuck up one of these countersinks in my hand drill, and I just give it a quick spin in either end, and we end up with a nice burr-free hole. So we're going to go ahead and get this assembled now and show you the result. All right, so we've got a completed axle and 2 working wheels. Here's the first end that we did. Going to go ahead and pan around, and there's that final end. I'm happy with the outcome. We have completed the first step. We have restored the mobility of the fan so that it can be moved around the shop.